thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today we're going to get into the CFP rankings. The first one's dropped on Tuesday. So we're going to get in there and I'll give you my little opinions. I also do a top 25. I have my own point system. I have a whole playlist full of videos that nobody watches. That's fine. I do the shit because I like to do the shit. But I'm going to compare and contrast a little bit. Kind of help inform you of my opinions on this. So, let's get going. All right, first of all, let's start with their top four. I don't have a big problem with this. Oregon deserves to be number one, absolutely. Miami, that should be your number two team. I don't give a shit. In my top 25, that's who I have number two. Now, Ohio State being over Georgia, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Ohio State, then Georgia. And by the way, I'm a Big 12 fan. I've heard people piss and moan about this ranking. However, they have them at number 9. On my top 25, I have them at number 8. So I'm not exactly, that's not a problem for me. Indiana, I saw today, there was a video. Oh, who the hell was it? Damn it. Almost had his name. But I don't. Anyway, he's a very, very famous Joel Klatt. That's who it is. I saw Joel Klatt, and he had a big problem with Indiana being number 8. Look, I got Indiana number 7 in my top 25, so I don't have a problem with that either. However, my big problem is right here. Tennessee, 7-1. The one is Arkansas, people. Maybe some folks forget that. One of Tennessee's big wins is Alabama. And because it's Ala-freaking-Bama, they're going to give Tennessee all of this love. That, my friends, is horse shit. Okay? It just is. Now, look, my rankings are way different because they're on a point system. This is, of course, based on opinion. So since I'm going to do that, I would replace Tennessee with SMU. I wouldn't move Tennessee as far down as what I have in my point system, but I'm putting SMU over Tennessee. I know Tennessee's got the better win with Alabama. SMU doesn't have a win like that. But their one loss is BYU, who's undefeated. That looks a little better than Arkansas. And also, SMU has a nice resume. And let's not forget the story of SMU. First year coming up into the ACC playing with the big boys, and they're killing it. As a matter of fact, they haven't lost one game in their conference yet. And they just beat an undefeated Pitt. So, and I know, this damn thing, they got Pitt at 18. Okay, I don't have a problem with that either. That's fine. But I'm giving SMU a little more love than that. I'm getting them into the top 10 is what I would do. Which means I would move Alabama down. I would move them down. I would probably 14. I don't think Alabama should not be inside the top 12. Not with one-loss teams and all this shit. No. You can kiss my ass. I wouldn't do it. Now, some other consternation I've seen online is Notre Dame. Oh my God, Notre Dame's so high up. They haven't played shit. Blah 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 blah. Well, they did beat Texas A&M. If they haven't beat anybody. They have. And yeah, they did lose to Northern Illinois. But on my top 25, I got them number 10. So I can't complain about this. I think that's an appropriate place to get Notre Dame. So overall, their top 10 outside of Tennessee. And really, Penn State kind of bugs me a little. I know they lost to Ohio State. It's not a big loss. For them to stay inside the top 10, I guess. All right. It does bug me that Boise State is down here. I understand it's the Mountain West, right? It bugs me a little bit. But I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have such a problem with it. We got to talk about brand and everything else. But what is inexcusable? Look down here. Army, number 25. That's just horse shit. I'm sorry, that's horseshit. Army should be up here. As a matter of fact, they should have the 11th spot. Okay, in Alabama, oh, let's see here. They deserve to be above Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss. It's ridiculous some of these teams are in here. But here's a big bitch of mine. Clemson at number 23. Okay, they just got beat by a 3-loss Louisville. Good team. It's a good team. Louisville's ranked in my top 25 as well. Clemson ain't. I know it seems weird. Hey, they're 6-2 though. Bro. As I said before, they got beat by Louisville, and I believe they got beat by Georgia early on in the season. Yeah, first game of the season, they got beat by Georgia. They just didn't get beat by Georgia. They got destroyed by Georgia. But let's look at the rest of the Clemson wins here. App State, okay. NC State, okay. Stanford, okay. Florida State, well, that doesn't mean anything this year. They beat the hell out of Wake Forest, okay. They got by Virginia. I mean, Virginia's a pretty good team this year. They're not bad. But that's all they got. That's all they got, folks. We got a Louisville that's a 3-loss team. I know another 3-loss team that I would put in here over Clemson. The Texas Tech Red Raiders. Yes, they beat Iowa State. That's better than anything Clemson has done this year. It's a better win than anything Clemson has. Kiss my nut bag. And maybe that's just me, just being an asshole. But it just doesn't seem Clemson should still be ranked. I don't know. It just seems it's not over Army. And no freaking way should they be ranked over Army. But neither here nor there. I'm glad to see Louisville. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Colorado being at 20. They're 25 on my list. Washington State, at 21. That's a little lower than I have them, but I don't have a problem with that. Now, Pitt at 18. Okay. Maybe this is where I have some problems, some issues here with Pitt being at 18. Why is Ole Miss above them? I don't know. Texas A&M? Should Texas A&M be above Pitt? I mean, let's look at Texas A&M. Let's see what they've done. They just lost to South Carolina, did they not? I mean, Pitt just lost to SMU. A 1-loss team that's kicking ass this year. So let's see. Texas A&M, they got beat by Notre Dame. Okay, that's not bad. They beat up McNeese State. Ooh. They beat Florida. Ooh. Bowling Green. Ooh. Oh, what is this? They beat Arkansas? Say it ain't so. They beat Missouri. Okay, Missouri's a decent team. A decent team. They beat Mississippi State. Now, LSU's a nice win. It is. And you know what? I'd still put Pitt over them. Pitt doesn't have the 2 losses. Because this year, I don't think Pitt would lose to South Carolina this year. So, I'm putting Pitt above Texas A&M. I'm giving them a little more love than that. LSU somewhere in the top 25, okay. Ole Miss, okay. I'm good with that. Above Iowa State, kiss my ass. No. I mean, those are just SEC teams, and that's the only reason. That's it. I mean, is Missouri really that much more of a vagabond? Or are they that much worse than Texas A&M or LSU? Or Ole Miss? And I would put Ole Miss above A&M and LSU this year. And I hate that freaking coach, that smarmy little bastard. I don't like him. But I would put Ole Miss above those two. I don't know. Like I said, this isn't a horrible, horrible list. It isn't. I wouldn't have Clemson on there. I'm sorry. I'm right now, I'm not putting them on there. I would put the Red Raiders on there before I'd put Clemson on there. That's just me. So really, is this top 25, worth you like burning down the freaking the universe for? No. I think for the most part, it looks fine. It looks okay. There's a few question marks I have with it. I think Alabama's a little too high. They should be knocked down a few pegs. Let them earn their way to the top, back into the top 12. Don't just give it to them because they're Alabama. That's what it looks like. That's what it smells like to me. And I don't appreciate that as a football fan. Clemson, I'm sorry, you just lost to Louisville, who's a 3-loss team. Get them the hell out of there. Replace them with the Red Raiders. Red Raiders got a really nice win against Iowa State. They deserve to be in there. Or Syracuse if you want to do that. I know Clemson probably has a little better resume than Syracuse, but screw you. Clemson just lost a game that maybe they shouldn't have. Now, I will say this. At least they put Louisville in there. At least they did. They deserve to be in there. And they didn't put them too high. But, they just had to do the Clemson thing. Had to do it. Look, I don't mean to shit on the Clemson fans. I'm not trying to crap on you, okay? I'm not saying your team, if they run the table the rest of the way, doesn't deserve to be ranked inside the top 25. Hell, quite a bit higher than they are. Because even if they run the table, they still may not get into the ACC conference game. I mean, there's SMU, there's Miami. They're behind the 8 ball here. So, I don't know about making the playoffs, but if they could run the table, they deserve to be high, definitely inside the top 25. But to me, it's like, do you have to give it to them right now? I mean, this is the first top 25 for the CFP. I mean, let them win another game. Let Alabama win another game before you just throw them into the top 12. That's ridiculous shit. That's all I'm saying. You lose to Vanderbilt. And I know Vanderbilt's pretty good this year, but they're not some world beater. They'll make a bowl game, but they're not one of the top SEC teams. Are they ranked inside this top 20? No, they're not. They're not. They would have been ranked maybe several weeks ago, especially right after beating Alabama. They would have been ranked inside this thing, but right now they're not. As a matter of fact, you got 9 SEC teams. That seems a little extravagant. Now, look, I know a lot of these teams are going to fall off because they're going to play each other. They're going to beat each other. It's going to happen. But, I got a few bitches. I think Tennessee's a little too high. It's hard for me to get over the Arkansas loss. I'm like, what the? Arkansas? Again, Arkansas doesn't completely suck. Again, probably a bowl team. But there's a difference between a middle-of-the-road team and losing to Georgia. Or hell, even losing to Alabama with 2 losses. It looks better because it's Alabama, but or losing to Ohio State for Penn State. It's a way better loss than freaking Arkansas. That's why I'd knock them down a peg. I just would. They deserve to be knocked down, folks. I'm not saying out of the top 12, but down a little bit. That's it. So, really, I know I'm bitching, like everybody else is bitching, but there's not a whole lot wrong with the top 25. Like I said, a few disagreements. There's always going to be a few. But I think in large part, they got it pretty much right, what you can expect. And if you're not keeping track, there's still 4 Big 12 teams. If you're a Big 12 fan like I am, I'm happy to see there's still 4 teams. Our top 4 teams are still in their top 25 with a shot. That's what I like to see. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap, and I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.